Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, June 24. If you are watching live on Monday, June 24 and have comments or questions, we encourage you to call in. Our call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can watch us live on either Optimum or Verizon Cable TV or at pctv76.org, and within a few days you can pick up an on-demand webcast of this and previous meetings at the PCTV website, pctv76.org. Our next regular meeting is, let me just get to the calendar so I don't misspeak, on Monday, July 10 at 8 p.m. with a work session at 7. A couple of announcements to make. The first is congratulations to Pleasantville High School graduates, class of 2019. I attended the graduation on Friday night.
July 8th.
July 8th, Monday, July 8th.
I have misspoken.
Yes.
Rewind the tape. Don't come to the meeting on July 10th. Come to the meeting on July 8th. All right. Thank you for that. Back to Pleasantville High School. Somewhere in the vicinity, I think, of 140 students graduated on Friday night from Pleasantville High School. A really, really nice ceremony, as it always is. Congratulations to the school district for putting together such a nice graduation. Congratulations to the many folks who come back for the 50th reunion class. A really nice tradition at Pleasantville High School is that the 50th reunion class leads the procession into the graduation, and as is always the case, it is remarkable how many folks come back from near and far to attend that 50th reunion, and I ended up in a conversation with a bunch of them, including someone who, as it turns out, lived in the house next door to me. So a really nice piece of continuity for the Village of Pleasantville, and also a shout out to our county executive, George Latimer, who came and also spoke to the graduates and to the folks who were there. So those of you who missed it and would like to see it, am I correct in saying, Shane, that it'll be up at PCTV? It's already up at pctv76.org. So that's of interest, obviously, to folks who have offspring or relatives who graduated, but it's a worthwhile watch as well. A couple of other announcements to make. Eric, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we have been struggling with some mechanical and plumbing problems at the kiddie pool. I'll leave it to you to comment because I don't want to be too optimistic.
Sure. So we identified a leak in a return pipe. So we carved out a piece of the concrete, replaced the piece of pipe, repaired the concrete, which was delayed a little bit by the rain last week, but that was finished up on Friday. And the pool is filled, we're balancing it, and all indications are it will be opened for the weekend. So an announcement will be sent out once that's 100% confirmed to all the pool pass holders, but we're looking good.
Very good news, hopefully just in time. School's now out.
Yep.
Families will be wanting to come, so get thee to the Pleasantville pool. If you haven't yet decided to join, we encourage you to consider that. You can go to the website at pleasantville-ny.gov. No, I'm mixing up. Yes, pleasantville-ny.gov.
Correct.
And click into the Recreation Department and read about the pool programs and the various categories of membership. If you're not a member now, we encourage you to take a look. I think it's going to be a good season. We've made some further nice improvements to the pool space, and with the kiddie pool up and running, the big pool has been up and running the whole way. Warm weather's coming. It'll be a nice place to be this summer. Pleasantville Music Festival is Saturday, July 13, coming up in a little less than 3 weeks now. Get thee to pleasantvillemusicfestival.com and you can read all about it. You can also buy tickets there online. Or if you would like to avoid the online fees, you can buy them down at the Rec Department office, right down next to Parkway Field. And encourage you to put on your calendars and buy tickets now. First installment of village tax bills are due sometime this month, the deadline being July 1. Got that right? That is something you would have been reminded of if you were part of the general email list. So if you didn't get that, it's worth, when you go to take a look at the pool at pleasantville-ny.gov, click in the left-hand column to sign up for news, and you can choose the categories you want, but we don't send out a lot of them, but we do send out reminders about tax bill due dates, water bill due dates, general information folks would like to know, when we're going to undertake a road closing for some rehabilitation, et cetera. And perhaps most of all, gives you a chance also in that same pane to choose to sign up for emergency alerts at Code Red. So I encourage people as often as they can to do it. Lots of folks have, but there are lots of folks who haven't. And I think for lots of people it would be a big advantage. Other announcements? Nope. Things going on? Is there a comment from the public on any subject? All right. I want to report that before a regular meeting, we had a work session and met with members from the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, as we periodically do with the various boards and commissions that assist the village and advise us, and had a wide-ranging conversation on lots of subjects, including the Memorial Plaza Civic Space. You'll hear more on that in the coming weeks, but also discussion about the pool, not only the repair of the kiddie pool, but our overall plans for rehabilitation of the pool, which probably involves a capital project down the road. And we'll be reaching out to the community to report what's going on there, and also encourage folks to have comments as they may. So we have 3 public hearings tonight, which are pretty straightforward. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on Introductory Local Law 3 of 2019 to amend the zoning map concerning Central Business Parking CBP Overlay District?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eric, do you want to give the short summary of this?
Sure. So currently our parking overlay district comes down Bedford Road and cuts into about a third of the retail space, or the commercial space that's proposed at 70 Memorial.
The overlay district being the zone that has been carved out, which says there is not a parking requirement for retail uses.
For retail use only. Right?
Correct. And retail is stores selling things. It's not services and restaurants.
And the applicant has requested that that overlay extend across Memorial Plaza, the frontage to incorporate the entire space. This has been in discussion for a long time. The board has held, I think, 2 to 3 work sessions on this. The building inspector, Robert Hughes, gave some history on why that, kind of the historical perspective on why the overlay has cut through just a portion. It dates back to previous owners and land sales, and essentially it should have probably been extended a long time ago, but wasn't. So that's what this public hearing is regarding.
All right. Any comment from the board?
Nope.
Comments from the public? Any questions, comments? I can speak for myself in saying this has been a discussion for some time, as Eric already reported, and given the requirement we have that the first floor of the building that's being built next to the post office at 70 Memorial be a commercial space, in the event that it ends up retail, it seems both unreasonable in terms of fairness, but also contrary to our overall goals, not to encourage it in the same way we've encouraged retail everywhere else in the Central Business District. Further comment of any sort? All right. Is there a motion to close the public hearing on Introductory Local Law 3?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing closed. Ramp into public hearing number 2. Is there a motion to open the public hearing on Introductory Local Law 4 of 2019 to amend Chapter 185, Article 1, Section 3, concerning definitions to repeal Chapter 185, Article 7A, Section 35.1, concerning wireless telecommunications facilities, and to adopt Chapter 185, Article 7A, Section 35.1, concerning wireless telecommunications facilities?
I so move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A storm of words.
So essentially, this local law is in anticipation of the rollout of 5G infrastructure that wireless telecommunication companies have been installing in other parts of the country. The FCC has empowered these telecommunications companies to put this infrastructure just about anywhere, most likely on utility poles and light poles. So we are limited in our scope and ability to regulate where they're placed, but we do have some room to wiggle, and that is what this law proposes to do.
In other words, it just updates our current telecommunications, wireless telecommunications code to reflect what's going on in the field right now and
Correct.
to maximize our chance to have a say in how it gets developed.
Yep, it defines our approval process, our aesthetics. Again, we're limited in what we can regulate in terms of aesthetics, but we do have some terms there as well. But it's preparing for the future. Right now we all get wireless telecommunications through monopoles, which are those large poles that we see sometimes shaped as fake trees. Now we'll see them smaller and about 1,000 feet apart. So this is, again, an
Yeah,
anticipation.
so many more of them.
Correct.
On telephone poles, many of them.
Yep, telecommunication.
yeah.
Yep, telephone poles, lights, traffic lights, buildings. They're going to be just about anywhere.
Stuff all over the place. So obviously we all have a common interest to have quality cell service, but also the community interest to try to manage that infrastructure and avoid a circumstance where, for commercial reasons, the public realm is unnecessarily polluted with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, also in the record is the referral we made on this and each of these 3 local laws to the County Department of Planning, receiving their comment, which in all 3 cases indicated that they had reviewed them and viewed them as a matter of local control.
Correct.
Any further comment on Introductory Local Law 4? Comment from the public? Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Is there a motion to open a public hearing on Introductory Local Law 5 of 2019 to repeal Chapter 185, Article 7B, Section 35.2 concerning antennas?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take it away, Mr. Morrissey.
Sure. So this section of our local law is a bit outdated, and local law, Introductory Local Law 4 now combines the rules and regulations that were caught in that. So it's essentially cleaning up our village code and updating it.
And these, as well as the previous ones, have been referred to Planning Commission, and we're waiting for their commentary.
Correct. Which
As
we
well.
should receive by the end of this week.
Right.
And just for public information, we're talking about commercial antennas. We're not talking about antennas on your house. Not that anybody has those anymore, but
Right.
Some do.
some do.
It's coming back, the cord cutters.
Yeah.
All right, any further comment? Comment from the public? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is closed. Now, it's kind of boring. We don't have any more public hearings. How about resolution number 155, Nicole?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the retirement of Payal Devgan, Recreation Assistant, Clinton Street Center, effective June 29, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Payal has been a long-standing employee down at the Clinton Street Center, and we very much appreciate her service and wish her a happy and successful retirement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 156, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the resignation of Eric Akalski, Recreation Assistant, Recreation Department, effective June 27, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Eric was made an offer too good to refuse in the private sector.
Yes, he did.
Again, very much appreciate his service, having been an employee for the last year or so. And wish him the best of luck in his new post. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. David.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to submit an application for CDBG funding through Westchester County for the replacement of 2 rooftop HVAC units at the Clinton Street Center for a total estimated project expense of $60,000. Further resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes commitment from the village of 50% of project expenses.
Is there a second?
Second.
So CDBG is Community Development Block Grant Funding, which is federal funding that is funneled through the county. It was the subject of contentious battle some years back with the Estorino administration when the CDBG funding had been withheld by the feds as part of the argument over affordable housing. The CDBG funding for the county is now back up and running. And we don't have any certainty that we would achieve this, but are hopeful we would?
Correct.
Do you have a sense of the odds?
The only projects that we qualify for are projects related to our senior services. So we looked at the capital needs of the senior center. So we talked to the director of the senior services and Jeff Econom, who's the superintendent of public works. They identified the HVAC unit, the rooftop unit, as being the biggest need at this point. It's 15 years old. We've been running into some issues. So the CDBG grant is currently accepting applications for 20 and 21. So we're hoping to secure 50% match for that project.
And just to be clear, the senior center on the first floor of the Clinton Street building is a leased space. Correct. The building itself is long story, but formerly owned by an entity called Ashburn LLC, which was part of a elaborate system involving the tax credits that permitted the project to be funded originally. Those tax credits have expired, and the project is now owned by the Pleasantville Housing Development Fund Corporation, which is a long-standing entity with village members as its board, and the folks at A-Home, the affordable housing organization, who have offices diagonally opposite on Tompkins Avenue, are hired as managers for the building. But because the village is a tenant downstairs, and it was the village's responsibility when we occupied that building to put in air conditioning, because the rest of the building uses window or through the wall air conditioners, these rooftop units fall into our camp.
Correct.
Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 158.
That's me.
Here comes Clark Street.
Resolved that the Board of
Yeah.
Trustees hereby approves the request from Clark Street residents to hold a block party on Saturday, June 29th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
I think a legendarily good party. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Have a good time, folks, on Clark Street. 159, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the Superintendent of Public Works to install a crosswalk on Marble Avenue in the vicinity of 181 Marble Avenue and 184 Marble Avenue.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is a new pedestrian crosswalk that would cross Marble Avenue approximately at the location of the of Booth Street, crossing from the parking lot for Columbia Doctors across the street to a piece of the property that's Arbin.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yep, crosswalk to crosswalk. The police chief and the superintendent of public works both evaluated the circumstances and recommend putting the crosswalk in.
Okay. And
I have a tangential question.
Sure.
Do we know what the story is behind the new crosswalk signs that I presume the county has been putting up on Manville? Oh, no, it would be the state.
state.
You don't know what I'm talking about? There are these new sort of fluorescent signs that have been put up adjacent to crosswalks to make it much clearer to drivers that there's a crosswalk there. They just sort of popped up.
Are they good?
I think so.
Yep.
I mean, they're very visible.
Well,
Yeah, so I was just curious.
I don't know.
No, we don't know. They
Ask-
just
ask
went
Jeff,
in and did
right.
it?
Right,
Okay.
they did not get with us on that.
Okay.
Unless Jeff played a role in that, which perhaps he did. So this crosswalk, as is shown in the attachment, has the required advanced signs indicating a crosswalk is coming up. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 160, Joe.
No, I just did 159.
Oh, I'm sorry.
David.
Whereas there are presently pending before New York State Supreme Court County of Westchester a series of tax certiorari proceedings entitled
Matter of.
DS Pleasantville LLC versus Village of Pleasantville et al. And whereas these proceedings challenge the real property tax assessment of a parcel located at 35 Pleasantville Road in the Village of Pleasantville, which is identified as Section 106.5, Block 2, Lot 45 on the tax map of the Village of Pleasantville, and whereas these proceedings challenge the assessment established by the Village of Pleasantville for this tax parcel in assessment years 2013 through 2017, and whereas proposed terms of settlement have been reached, providing for a disposition of the claims asserted in these proceedings, and whereas the Village Board of Trustees has obtained the advice and assistance of its counsel, Keenan Bean PC, with respect to the proposed terms of settlement and duly considered the same, and whereas pursuant to these terms of settlement, the 2013 through 2017 annual assessments of the aforementioned tax parcel will be reduced, giving rise to village tax refunds, and whereas as a result of these assessment reductions, a Village of Pleasantville tax refund will be due in the amount equaling approximately $16,496.97 and $14,100. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village Board of Trustees authorizes the settlement of these proceedings so as to adjust the annual village assessments of the aforementioned tax parcel for assessment years 2013 through 2017 as follows. The reductions in each year are $44,550 for 2013, $29,180 for 2014, $34,110 for 2015, $43,550 for 2016, and $31,815 for 2017. Be it further resolved that the village administration and Keenan Bean PC as attorneys for the Village of Pleasantville are hereby authorized to take the steps necessary to effectuate these terms, including execution and entry of a consent judgment and the payment of any and all refunds required under the above authorized terms of settlement.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the property in question is 35 Pleasantville Road, which I believe is Key Food.
It is.
And further to David's report, it's a resolution of 5 years of outstanding cases, total refund of $16,497.14, a relatively modest amount for a property of that size.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like less than the lawyer's fees for 5 years.
That might be. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 161, Nicole.
Okay.
Okay, since David provided the
The
full
text.
story, I think you could refer to the previous resolution for the boilerplate as further noted in the record.
Right. So this concerns 230 West Lake Drive.
That's the owner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
The location
The
is 65
location is
Marble.
65 Marble Avenue. For the years 2013 to 2019. So the reduction is $1,762 for 2013. For 2014 and 2015, there's no reduction. For 2016, there's a reduction of $570. For 2017, no reduction. For 2018, a reduction of $625. And for 2019, a reduction of $12,625.
Producing a net, you should probably read the net refund.
Right.
The last whereas.
Where's the last whereas?
Yeah,
Oh,
look
okay.
Yeah.
Right, so the net then is that right? No.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. $1,462.
Oh, okay.
And 55 cents.
So just read that.
Okay,
part.
right. So, okay. Whereas as a result of the 2013, 2016, 2018, and 2019 assessment reduction, a Village of Pleasantville tax refund will be due in an amount equaling approximately $1,462.55.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
As reported, all details of that are memorialized in the record. Comments or questions?
Just to, just to make it clear for the viewing public, the reductions are reduction in assessment, which translates into a different tax refund, which is why there were assessment reductions for different amounts for different years, and it results in a $1,462.55 total refund for 2013 through 2019. So,
Correct.
just for clarity.
Thank you for that. Further comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 162, Joe.
Likewise, this is a tax certiorari settlement regarding Sammy's Property Inc. for property located at 4 Pleasantville Road in the Village of Pleasantville. It's a 1-year tax assessment reduction. Total reduction is $7,100 in reduction of assessment, resulting in a tax refund of $659.67. and resolve that the attorneys are authorized to take all steps necessary to effectuate the settlement.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this property, I believe, is the gas station at the corner of Bedford Road where it abuts Pleasantville Road?
It's Heller's.
Oh, the former Hellers, right.
Correct.
The former Hellers building. All right, so a net refund of $659 for the year 2018. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 163, David.
Resolved the Board of Trustees in support of the Pleasantville Music Festival Saturday, July 13th, 2019, authorizes that no parking signs will be posted with restrictions in vehicular access to Hopper Street, Village Lane, and Elm Road will be in effect for Saturday, June 13th, 2019 from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the police chief to tow all vehicles violating the temporary parking and road restrictions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Isn't it Elm Street, not Elm Road?
It's Elm Street.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we should revise that to read in the resolution. That's acceptable to the mover and seconder.
Yes.
Yes.
So this reflects comments that we've gotten from folks who live in the affected neighborhood, a couple of them here in the audience, and we'll undertake the same review we had last year, which, as I understand it, worked a lot better than had been in years past. So
Fantastic.
we're on the case.
No property damage and made living on Elm Street not a nightmare.
All right.
I got that. That was good.
Comments, questions? Motion approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. We're set. 164.
So
Colin,
there's
I
a
mean-
typo, I don't know if it's not a big thing, but in the public comment section when Tom Rooney speaks,
Yes.
it should be, he stated that traffic light signaling is not safe at several intersections in the village instead of A. Just a,
Okay.
okay, sorry, I need the text here, okay. All right, so resolve that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meeting held on June 10th, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
So,
As amended.
as Nicole just indicated, a minor amendment to fix a typo. I'm reminded in reading this that I should have commented and didn't in my earlier announcements that the walk to the sunrise, walk to the light walk organized by the Break the Hold Foundation took place on June 9, and something like 700 people got up at 4 in the morning, and not only that, paid for the privilege. So it was a proud moment for Pleasantville. Any other comments or questions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 165, Joe.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the memorandum of agreement with the CSEA Local 860, Unit 9235, Village of Pleasantville, with an effective date of June 1, 2019. The memorandum of agreement is attached.
Is there a second?
Second.
So the new contract with CSEA, Civil Service Employees of America, that is the union that represents our non-uniformed employees. I'll let Eric summarize this, but I want to not only thank the leadership as well as the members of CSEA for an extended cooperative process, but thanks to Eric and to Noreen, both key players in what is inevitably a long and complicated and in some respects difficult process. And I congratulate the both of you on bringing this to this conclusion. You want to give the quick summary?
Sure. So it's a 3-year contract that provides raises for our what we refer to as wage scale A employees of 2.25% across the 3 years, and for our newer employees who are considered wage scale B at 2.5%. We think those are fair increases over the 3 years. This is piggybacking off of a 2-year contract, so there aren't many other changes that are substantial from that contract to this contract. We also have specified the hours worked for each division and department, and specified that out more clearly. That wasn't so clear in the previous contract. We also made some floating holidays fixed holidays, and have provided half-day on Christmas Eve, which the membership had requested and the board granted. So all in all, we think it's a fair contract for the next 3 years.
I would agree. Comments or questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, shout out to the leadership as well as the membership of CSEA for participating, as they always do, in a collaborative process to try to find common ground, which has been successful.
Absolutely.
166. That's
Me.
Nicole.
Okay. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer to close the following capital accounts for reasons stated herein and to transfer any available fund balances as follows. The PPD dispatch improvements account with a balance of $2,044.45 transferred to the general fund. The Recreation Center 2 Lake Street account with a balance of $5,795.78 transferred to the general fund.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is essentially accounting cleanup.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Joe, 167.
Resolved, the following budget amendments are hereby approved as listed below. $1,725 from Finance Conference and Training to Finance Full-Time. $9,578 from the Contingent Fund to Legal Contractual. $357 from Contingent to Legal Notices Contractual. $14,871 from Contingent to Police Overtime. $18,000 from Parking Enforcement Contractual to Police Overtime. $10,165 from Pool Part-Time to Pool Equipment. $1,464 from Administrative Gas and Oil to transfer to Capital Manville Road Improvement. Also, to increase revenue and expenses in the capital fund as follows: $1,464 in revenue account interfund transfer from general fund and expenditure account Manville Road Improvements Village Fund. And also to do the following budget transfers from the capital close projects and return fund balances to appropriate funds: $2,044.45 from account dispatch improvements to account transfer to general fund, and $5,795.78 from Rec Center to Lake Street to be transferred to the general fund.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Again, accounting exchanges to fund underfunded accounts.
Yeah, as we close out the fiscal year.
Right. These
These are-
all
these are
refer
closed
to
out
the
of-
fiscal year that just ended.
Correct.
Right. That ended May 31. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. David, 168.
Resolved the check register dated June 24th, 2019 for fiscal year 2019 covering check numbers 93747 to 93790 is hereby approved as listed below. From the general fund, $70,718.45. From the water fund, $9,371.83. From the capital fund, $6,242.63. From the refuse fund, $205.96. From the trust fund, $1,518.75 for a total of $88,057.62.
Is there a second?
Second.
I noticed we're paying for the planters that had been ordered by beautification. Have they arrived?
They have not arrived, but we're expecting them any day now.
Uh-huh. But they're close.
They're
So
close.
that's great.
Fine.
They're on the truck.
They're en route.
Yeah. All right. Any comments or questions on the first of two check registers? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Now for fiscal year 2020, Nicole.
Resolved that the check register dated June 22nd, 2019 for fiscal year 2020, covering check numbers 93675 to 93746 and 93791 are hereby approved as listed below. From the general fund, water fund, capital fund, refuse fund, and trust fund, a total of $449,183.62.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions on the 2020 check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. That is the last of our regular agenda items. We'll be returning to work session to discuss an update on the proposed village food composting program, to discuss the music festival, to discuss some proposals for public art, and to discuss some new New York State DOT restrictions that may affect parking in the Old Village on Broadway. Any further comment from the public on any subject?
Come on, somebody step up and say something. Never mind.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good evening. Thank you for your attention. I'll get it right this time. Our next meeting is on Monday, July 8th.
Correct.
All right. Thank you and good night.